Well, the first episode of Loki is in, and I gotta say, fans got tons of their questions answered in the opening minutes of this episode. But there was a pretty big MCU question fans, I think, were not expecting to get, and some people might be a little upset. If you paid close attention to this episode, you may have noticed that the Disney Plus series may have confirmed the actual canonical status of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, let's talk about it. Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, don't forget about the big giveaway. We got this PlayStation 5 to give away at 25,000 subscribers. All you have to do to get in on the giveaway is be a subscriber and leave some sort of comment. Now, last night's premiere episode of Loki got Marvel fans talking all over. It was a spectacular episode, and quite honestly, my favorite in Marvel's outings. Now, if you're watching this episode, we learn all kinds of interesting details. Now, one thing the first episode may have inadvertently done is confirm the canon or non-canon status of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this might not leave some fans very happy. As we watched this first episode, we got a lot of backstory on Loki, and some of it was pretty good to watch him sort of rewatch his own life. Some of this was rather emotional, and I have to give Tom Hiddleston's reaction to his mother and father's death and how that really seemed to impact the character and move him to the next level. But part of this process was reviewing some of the events that happened in the first Avengers movie. Now, as many of you know, the very first Avengers movie led to the death of Phil Coulson, who was played by Clark Gregg. Now, if you remember correctly, after he died in the first movie, he was so popular that a fan campaign pretty much led to his return on the small screen, Marvel TV, where he led Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, that went on for about 7 seasons. And one of the things about it was it had a tendency to do the threat of the week type thing, which had space, magic, but most importantly, time travel. Now, the time travel element is obviously going to be a big part of the Loki series. And during this process, it seems that the TVA agent, Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, actually just killed the whole debate about whether Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon or not, because he flat out stated Coulson died. End of story. The whole concept of the sacred timeline and how various aspects of it get pruned obviously are going to be key to the MCU. It appears that the universe, as it exists right now, is one singular timeline that is kept in its state by the TVA. According to them, things happen because they were meant to happen. Loki really learns this in a rather painful way. Now, for many people, it always appeared that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was in an alternate timeline. Actually, at the end of the series, we saw the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. agency return, and they pretty much gave us hints that the snap never happened. However, in the series last night, the TVA seems to confirm that the timelines tend to repeat over and over again. So, the events from the MCU so far don't match up with the season finale to even confirm its canon in the main timeline. So, this brings us to the big question: is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon or not? Well, it appears it could go either way, but after watching this week's episode, I think it really falls into the latter category. To me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not seem to be part of this singular MCU timeline that we have right now. When you watch that video from Miss Minutes, she explains there was once the Multiverse War. That broke all the timelines before they were restored into the sacred timeline. They also make it pretty clear that when you get more multiverses, then there's big problems, and that likely will be a big focus of the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. The TVA also warns of what happens when multiverses come into existence, and how that could actually be destructive. This is likely to be the main focal point of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They refer to a Nexus event, and that very well may happen in the Loki series. This type of Nexus event was teased in one of the trailers for the Loki series, so we may very well see the timelines breaking apart at different points in time. This could give us some clues about what if, because those variants in that show could be our first sort of clues that a single timeline isn't going to last for very long. As it stands right now, it sort of appears that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not seem to be part of the singular MCU timeline. Depending on what happens in the rest of the show and in future MCU events, that totally could change. The fact that a multiverse could exist means Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could absolutely exist out there somewhere, and with some sort of multiversal war on the horizon, they could make an appearance. I just don't really think they will. So do you guys think this finally gives us the answer to this question about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And does it really matter to you as a fan? I'm finding people that love the show are not going to give up on it. Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and you don't ring that bell, you ain't getting any updates. Peace.